Let's take it back to the beginning. Hello everybody, it's Scott here and we are playing through Stone Age Digital Edition. It's available on iOS and Android and I'm currently playing through on my iPhone 13 Pro. Now this is, as you would expect from the title of the game, a digital edition of the Stone Age board game. So if you have played that board game, then you will be very familiar with the rules, you'll be very familiar with how the game plays, and it is just all in a digital edition. As you can see right here, here it is. It looks lovely. You can see the little Neolithic humans running about, walking about, doing their duties. You can see it's beautifully illustrated. When you're able to zoom in into the different places, you'll be able to see it is absolutely gorgeous. But if you aren't familiar with the board game, then I'm going to attempt to give you just the briefest of tutorials about how to play this. Now, I can't show you the full round because I played a round of this and it was just a two-player. It was me versus an AI. And it took me about 30-40 minutes to actually complete the game. It was very in-depth. When you jump in, you definitely want to have a go at the tutorial. There's a lot of information, but you learn as you play. Now I'm against two opponents right here. I'm gonna just try and give you the briefest of overlooks, and if I do overlook anything, my apologies, but definitely give it a download and give it a go if you're not familiar. So, what we want to do is basically win. Spoiler alert, we want to win. That is the goal of the board game, we want to win. Now, the way we do that is by collecting victory points, and there are many different ways that we can collect victory points. We can build our society, we can collect resources, we can collect community cards, we can collect artifacts, and we can buy buildings. Now, the quickest way, as I say, is to purchase buildings. You can see these buildings that are available to purchase in the bottom here, and it's going to cost different things. The numbers surrounded by the laurel leaves are the victory points that are possible to gain. But in order to gain this building for 14 victory points, I'm going to have to use 1 wood, 1 stone, and 1 gold. But I don't have those resources yet. I need to farm those resources. And you farm them from all these different areas. You can see we've got the quarry for the rock, we've got the river for the gold. But it's not as simple as just sending a worker to there in order to collect them, because what happens is the more people you send, the more dice you roll. And the accumulative total of the dice that you've rolled then gets divided by the number of pips that is next to that particular resource. Are you with me so far? So for example, hunting. I can send off, actually what I'm going to do is, okay, I will jump to that. I'm just thinking ahead. Let's start playing the game. The best way to do is just to see. So I want to expand my base first. So I have 5 people in my settlement. We can have a maximum of 10. The way we increase is by clicking on the hut. That puts 2 people into that hut and then another person appears. I don't know how that happens. I'm just going to let my innocent mind tell you. I have no idea what happens there. Maybe they just put out an advert and people came. Who knows? But now they're going to bring an extra person into the fold. We already have 12 food. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we have 12 food right there, which is a good amount. Because at the end of the turn, we have to feed everybody in our settlement. So when one extra person comes in, that's going to go down to 6. So what I'm thinking is I would like to try and get some extra resources in here. Let's have a look at the harbor, because the harbor has all different things. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I could get 3 food. Okay, so I'm just thinking this through. I'm going to click on this. So I can purchase that when I have the option, because I'm all over the place with this, and I do apologize. I know what's going on, but I'm just trying to explain it to you. There are 3 stages to 1 turn. The first is placing workers. You can see at the top of the screen it says placing workers. You are literally placing where you want the people to go. So I have 2 people left. I put 1 in the harbor, 2 in the hut. You can't put too many people in the village at the same time. You can share resources like this. I'm going to put my final 2 workers in the clay mound. That's going to still be at a bit of a risk because whatever I roll will be divided by 4, but I'm going to go for it and see if we can at least get something. If both of them roll at least a 2, then I would get at least 1. Now we've done all that, what happens is... Oh, I could have zoomed into that. What happens is... We've placed all our workers, now we're collecting. It was my turn first. You can see the player in the corner. That's me, Adam. We're number 1. It says next to the avatar there. Then it's number 2 is Kamui. And then Wana is 3. That's the order it goes around. We're now collecting all the resources and reaping what we've done. So I'm going to jump in here and try to get something from the clay mound. When we jump into the clay mound, we roll the dice. Because we have 2 workers in this area, that means there are 2 dice that are rolled, and we managed to get 6. Now that's 6 divided by 4, which was the sort of handicap, as it were, for the clay. That means we get 1 because they round down. We collect that. Beautiful. We've now got 1 clay. You can see in the bottom left. Yep, we've got 1 clay. What else did we have to select? We put somebody in the harbor. Let's go to the harbor, and I will be able to purchase this for 1 resource, because if you look at the card itself, you can see at the top that pentagon, that pentagon means you can use any resources, but because there's only 1 of them, it means you can only spend 1. It means the cost rather is 1 resource. But if there was 3, then you'd have to spend 3 resources. But we're at the very beginning, so 1 right there. I'm going to do that. That'll give me 3 food, which will help next turn. And I got one of these community pieces, one of these artifacts, and that comes in very useful at the end. So I think I'm done with my turn. I'm going to click on the tick. Beautiful. We can watch what other people do, but I'm just going to fast forward through that. Fast forward, it's all good. Now, the third part of the game is the feeding your workers at the very end of the day. It was 6 of them there. They had 6 food. Luckily, we had a load of food already. I managed to get 3 more. If you don't have enough food, then you have to spend 10 victory points in order to feed everybody, which can come at a huge disadvantage to you, because if you're at 0, you will literally go down to minus 10 points, and that is harsh. So let me look around. I have 6. I want to jump into that field. For me, what I found before was the field was so incredibly useful. So I'm going to put 2 people in the hut, because also just getting as many people as possible is really good. Is there anything in the community chest worth getting? I'm going to say no. So I'm going to focus on something else. At the end of this, there'll be 7 people to feed. Okay, I've got 4 people there. I'm going to take a bit of a risk here. I'm going to put 4 people into gold. Yeah, I'm going to put all my 4 into gold. We still have enough food at the end of it, and then... Yeah, okay, then with my army that I've raised from the hut, I'm going to put them all into hunting. Okay, let's see how this goes. This is a premium game, so once you've purchased it, that's it, you've got it. There are no in-app ads, no in-app purchases, you've got the full entire game. You can play online with other people. You can play against your friends if they have the game as well. Or you can just play single-player games like this. I'm going to choose my benefit there, thank you very much. Or you can play single-player games like this against robots, against AI, and you can choose the difficulty. I've put this on easy because I'm still learning, but you can put it all the way up to difficult, all the way up to hard, and that will give you a nice challenge, especially if you haven't played this game before, because it is rather fun. It was a lot of information to begin with, I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of reading to go through, especially in the tutorial, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can keep up with this, but now that I've played through a round, it is actually very entertaining. It is very in-depth as well, surprisingly in-depth, because you're wanting to raise your resources, you want to spend them effectively, and you just need to keep an eye on your other players, because now I'm in 3rd place, sure thing, but that can all change. That can all change. Now I've rolled 4 dice there. That only added up to 9. Unfortunately, 9 divided by 6 is 1.5 or whatever, but it only counts as 1 gold. So I still managed to get 1 gold, but if any of those were just a little bit better, You do have the advantage to raise the dice, raise the value of the dice with tools. So you can put people into the tool maker shed right here, and that can be very helpful because then you get a tool. And the tool, as I say, will be able to boost up those numbers, especially on those harder turns. Or you can also earn tools from the community cards that you can... Yeah, I'm just looking at that. The community cards that you can trade with at the harbor. But sometimes you just want to hope that luck is on your side. The animation is lovely. As you've seen that I've been zooming into all these different areas, it just looks beautiful. It really does. It looks so beautiful. I mean, look at the harbor. There's just the little details here and there. These lovely little bits of animation, just like the birds going by, the crashing of the water in the corner. When we're in the quarry and you can see all the different things when you're at the river and the panning in the water. There's just a lot of lovely stuff. And if you have played the board game, then this is a really nice upgrade because you get that extra immersion. You get to see all these different details and it just adds a completely different layer. And the soundtrack is really atmospheric. It is really beautiful. So if you're a fan of board games, definitely give this a download because I think you'll have such fun and such enjoyment learning how to play it, learning how to go through with it, learning how to win. So right now, okay, let's figure this out. I did want to put a load of people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one person in the toolmaker's hut, confirm that right there, and then I'm going to send the rest of my squad out to hunt. 5 people in the fields to hunt, because we've only got 2 food left and I don't want my workers going hungry because I will lose points if they go hungry. So I'm going to skip over their turns to get to mine. Now let's see how we did. Did we get a tool? A nice tool? Beautiful. That will raise the numbers by 1, which is great. Let's roll this dice. Okay, that's quite a nice one. Quite a good one. 17. So as you can see, 17 divided by 2, which was the sort of handicap of the meat. But if I add this tool here, it then goes up to 9 because it's 17 plus 1, which was the tool, the value of the tool. It added 1. So that means it was 18 on the dice. Divided by 2 is 9. I'm going to use that to get that extra bit of food. Beautiful. Now that will be enough to feed our workers. And I'm going to jump into the harbor here to purchase this with 1 bit of clay. And that will give me 2 extra food. And also a bonus on houses. So when we eventually get around to purchasing a house, we're going to get twice as many victory points because we got that sort of modifier, which will be very helpful. Whew, I can go on about this for a long time. These games last a long time, but I'm already aware that I've been talking for a very long time as it is. So my friends, I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to say, this has been Stone Age Digital Edition. Oh, I can finally put someone in the field. Thank you. That's just a continuous food source, so you want to really boost that up. If you manage to get 10 people with that, you don't have to go hunting again. You always have your settlers fed. Anyway, no, stop, Scott. Keep on with the outro. Yes, let me know down below. What do you think? Will you be giving this a go? Are you a fan of board games? Have you played this particular board game? And what do you think of it being brought into the digital edition? Do you like all of the art? Do you like all of the little animations? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for now, my friends, luck and more to you all, and catch you next time.